Long night on the set. The atmosphere on the set that night was heavy but warm. The searchlights radiated. The shadows of the crew moving quickly set the final set for the shooting of the scene. The drama they starred in almost reached the climax episode, and everyone worked with high focus. Zhao Jinmai, sitting in her dressing chair, looked at the mirror with a slight smile. Her face still exudes the character she just played, a woman who must hide her feelings in order to protect the one she loves. The thin makeup on her cheeks began to fade due to the long hours of work. On the other hand, Zhang Linghe stood leaning against the wall, watching from a distance. She saw Zhao Jinmai talking softly with the makeup artist, and at that moment, she felt the world around her dim. All the crew noise seemed to disappear, leaving only himself and the girl. After the final scene was shot, the director said, "Cut. Well done. We're done for today." The cheers exploded, and everyone started packing. However, amidst the crowd, Linghe stepped slowly towards Zhao Jinmai. "Tired?" he asked softly. Zhao Jinmai nodded slightly. "Not bad. Today is full of emotions." Linghe smiled faintly, then said, "Then, want to take a break? I mean, before we go home, how about a movie?" Zhao Jinmai was surprised, looking at him for a moment. "Now, in the middle of the night?" "That's it," Linghe replied. "The cinema must be quiet, and we can watch without many people knowing us." Zhao Jinmai held back a smile. She knew that behind that relaxed tone, there was a deeper intention, an opportunity to spend time together out of the spotlight. Unexpected solicitation. A trip to the cinema they did not plan at all. As soon as they finished saying goodbye to the crew, they went straight to the parking lot. Linghe's car was already waiting. The window film was dark, providing enough privacy. Along the way, their conversation flowed lightly. They talk about favorite scenes in the drama, funny mistakes during filming, to little things that make them laugh. The streetlights bounce on the glass of the car, creating an atmosphere almost like the movie scene itself. "I think this is the first time I was invited to watch live after a long shoot," Jinmai said with a small laugh. Linghe took a quick glance, then refocused on the road. "Well, I think you need a nice rest, not just sleeping at home." Arriving at the cinema, the parking lot was quiet. There are only a few cars. Linghe turned off the machine, then turned to him. "If you want, we can choose a rather light film, so that your mind doesn't get carried away with the drama we just filmed." Zhao Jinmai smiled. "Can. But you choose, yes." Trip to the cinema. They walked towards the lobby of the cinema with masks and hats covering part of the face. Despite that, there was a pounding feeling that was hard to ignore. Each step feels like breaking an invisible boundary between colleagues and something more personal. Once inside, the aroma of popcorn is instantly welcoming. The lobby, which is usually full of people, now feels airy and calm. Several other couples were waiting in line, but no one noticed them for too long. Linghe took Jinmai to the automatic ticket machine. "Where do you want to sit? Front, center, or corner?" he asked, joking a little. "Okay," Jin replied quickly, and then laughed. "I don't want people to know that I'm sleeping in the middle of a movie." Linghe simply shook his head while smiling. They chose a romantic comedy film, just like Linghe imagined. Light, warm, and not too emotionally draining. Buy tickets and food. Once the tickets were in hand, they headed to the food counter. Linghe ordered a large size of caramel-flavored popcorn and 2 cold drinks. Jinmai looked at the menu with sparkling eyes, like a child. "We also buy nachos?" he asked. Linghe nodded. "Can. You are free to eat anything tonight." While waiting for the order, they stood quite close. There was a small moment when their hands almost touched while picking up a straw, and the two stared at each other for a while before both laughed awkwardly. Waiting for airtime. There are still 15 minutes before the movie starts. They sat on the couch of the cinema lobby, talking about life outside of work. Jinmai told her about the book she was reading, while Linghe shared about her not-so-planned vacation. "Sometimes I forget that we are actors," Jinmai said. It feels like a normal person like this. Linghe looked at him seriously. Maybe because that's how it should be. Outside of the camera, we are human. That sentence made Jinmai speechless, realizing how rare it was that he felt completely relaxed like this night, sitting in a corner chair. As soon as the studio door opened, they entered. Linghe led the way, making sure no one paid too much attention. Their seats in the top corner give extra privacy. The lights dimmed. The screen began to show advertising films. Jinmai opened the popcorn, while Linghe took a drink. "If I fall asleep, don't wake me up," he whispered. Linghe smiled. "If you sleep, I sleep too. So fair." The moment when the movie runs. The film begins, and the atmosphere of the cinema is completely calm. Only the sounds of dialogue and occasional laughter from other spectators. In the middle of the film, there is a funny scene that makes Jinmai cover his mouth so as not to laugh too hard. Linghe watched her out of the corner of the eye, feeling that the laughter was more interesting than the movie that was playing. Unplanned grip. Somehow, in the midst of that cozy atmosphere, their hands touched between the chairs. At first it was just a brief illusion, but then no one pulled away. Linghe cast a quick glance, seeing Jinmai still staring at the screen but her lips slightly smiling. He also let the grip last, warm and simple, but full of meaning. Way home in the middle of the night. The film ends almost at 2 in the morning. They walk out the cinema. The night air greets with a soothing coolness. "Thank you for tonight," Jinmai said softly. Linghe nodded. "Thank you too, for accompanying me." The drive home in the car was filled with comfortable silence. There are not many words, only soft music and taste that do not need to be described. The secrets they keep. To the world, they were just two actors who had just finished filming. But for them, the night was a little secret, about popcorn, cinema corner seats, and handshakes that were never planned. Maybe tomorrow they will again become professionals in front of the camera. However, in their hearts, there was one night that they would always remember. The night when they became Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai. Not characters in the drama, but rather two humans who understood each other in silence. They sat in the reading corner, flipping through a few pages. Suddenly, Zhang Linghe found a comedy book with funny illustrations. "You have to see this," he said as he showed the page that made Zhao Jinmai laugh to the point of closing his mouth. Laughter is honest, without camera censors. To Zhang Linghe, it was worth more than any trophy. Minor incident on the escalator coming out of the bookstore. They decided to go up to the next floor. The escalator was quite quiet. There were only the two of them and one elderly couple in front. Whether it was because of the wet floor or his hasty step, Zhao Jinmai's shoe heel slipped slightly. Reflexively, Zhang Linghe held his hand, tightly, almost as if unwilling to let go. "You okay?" he asked quickly. Zhao Jinmai looked at his hand that was still clasped, then looked back at his face. "I'm fine. But you don't seem to want to let go yet." Zhang Linghe came to his senses, but he did not immediately withdraw his hand. "Maybe. I really don't want to." Escalators are constantly moving, but for them, time seems to slow down. Meaningful gift options upstairs. They found a small trinket shop. Zhang Linghe noticed Zhao Jinmai, who was looking at the animal-shaped keychain. "I think this one suits you," he said, picking up a white rabbit-shaped hanger. "Why rabbits?" "Because the rabbit symbolizes tenderness, but also courage. Just like you." Zhao Jinmai accepted it, his eyes slightly glazed. "In that case, I will also choose for you." It took a black wolf-shaped hanger. Because the wolf always protects his pack, and never abandons what is important to him. They exchanged hangers, as if it were a tacit promise. Home with a different taste. It was almost midnight when they left the mall. The streets are quiet, the cold air is piercing, but strangely no one complains. In the car, they don't talk much. The music played quietly, only the light of street lamps alternated in the window panes. Every now and then, Zhang Linghe glanced at the dozing Zhao Jinmai lightly. His head tilted slightly towards the window. He lowered the volume of the music, then quietly smiled. That night, he knew one thing: the mall was just an excuse. What he really wanted was time with her. Attached memories. They arrived at Zhao Jinmai's apartment. He woke up, a little surprised that the journey was over. "Thank you for tonight," he said as he opened the door. "Thank you too, for coming out at a time like this." "Tired," Zhang Linghe replied. Before entering, Zhao Jinmai turned around. "Linghe. Yes. If one day, people find out about us, I hope they understand that it all started on nights like this." Zhang Linghe looked at him for a long time, then nodded. "A simple evening. But it means everything." The door closed, but the smile still lingered in the minds of the two. For them, the night mall wasn't just a place. It became part of a story they would keep, perhaps for a very long time.